What's up? Welcome in, guys. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday.
Good morning, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome in, guys. Appri's here. Burmy, Jerry, how you guys doing? We got Money Mike on the horn with us this morning. We got the gold spokesman on live with us this morning. He is here.
Oh man,
The official gold spokesman. He came straight from Zurich this morning. He's here with us.
all right.
Welcome in, everybody.
Good morning, everyone.
Megalodon Mike, I like that. Welcome in, everybody. Happy Wednesday. How did you guys all do yesterday? I thought yesterday was terrible, but I hope you guys are able to come out doing well. Yesterday was just so choppy and consolidated. I mean, I don't want to say choppy. When you look at the market, it was. There you go. It wasn't choppy, but we were just grinding, just a grind higher in the market, moved into supply, didn't really give you much entries. If you wanted to go long, you kind of had to be long at the lows. And then once that happened, it was just rippy, slow grind into highs, and didn't really give much opportunity. Now, granted, unless you went long, if you went long at lows, that was probably the best option. So we'll talk about that today. We'll go over what the market's doing this morning. We have a lot to go over this morning. Market is still in supply, right? Again, another all-time high push here in the market. Do we break above it? We're at the ES level this morning. We are sitting at the ES, the S&P 500 futures all-time high pre-market session this morning on this beautiful Wednesday session. So a lot to go over this morning. We'll talk about that in a moment. First of all, I just want to say welcome in. I hope you guys all are ready to dive into it. Mike and I are going to not waste any time today. We have a lot to go over. So what I want to do is I want to just jump right into it, right? We have 700 people here this morning. People are late to the show. They're late. You guys are not. I'm not going to wait for them. So earnings reports, econ data. I want to talk about this very briefly. This morning, it is a Starbucks day for me. It is a Starbucks day for me, even though I haven't been to Starbucks in a long time. Starbucks, if you guys remember we were talking about Starbucks in the pre-market. We were long Starbucks in the chat. We said Starbucks. They said, don't buy Starbucks. They said, don't buy Starbucks. They told us not to buy Starbucks. They said, don't buy Starbucks because of the union strikes. They said, the union strikes. We bought Starbucks, right? And Starbucks this morning is moving higher. I'm probably going to be selling today, right? I'm selling. I'm getting the hell out. I'm not going to sell all of it, but I will sell a bulk of my position today, this morning, here on this Wednesday morning. Okay, so that was a report this morning. They came out, didn't even beat. They didn't even beat. It actually was pretty bad earnings. So it's funny to see that they're doing well, but I'll take it. In terms of other data today, AT&T pre-market, ASML pre-market chips are rallying. It's been a chip rally recently, and it hasn't been a chip rally that you normally watch. It's been a lot of those other chips. Because remember, they're different types of chip makers, right? You have your, I'm not going to get into it, you guys know better than me, right? But there are different chip makers out there, and the chip makers that are performing well, MU rallying, ASML, we'll go over ASML this morning. And the after hours today's session on this Wednesday morning, we have Microsoft, we have Meta, we have Tesla in the after hours. So the big three reporting in the after hours today. Thursday morning, we have MasterCard, Caterpillar, Nokia. Who's trading Nokia? I don't know if you're trading Nokia. You shouldn't be trading Nokia, but if you are, you have other problems. Apple, you Visa, you use SNDK, and that's all we have for our Thursday session, right? Econ data for today's session, it is an FOMC session. This is an FOMC session. So we are basically in Vegas this morning. We are in Las Vegas this morning. That's all we are. We're not even technical traders anymore. We are just little fish watching what's happening, right? We're just little fish watching the sharks play. That's all we are today. We're not. There's not much to say about an FOMC session, right? Any trader that tells you what to do during an FOMC session is not a trader you should be listening to, and I firmly believe that, right? Monday session, we had a good bias. Tuesday session, debatably good bias, but we talked about Tuesday. We gave our ideas Tuesday. Now, Wednesday session this morning, it's an FOMC session. So everything that happens today, post 2 p.m., is random. It's random. The technicals don't matter. I'm a technical trader, and I understand that. It does not matter. The technicals are insignificant by 2 p.m. because the market's trying to find the proper valuation. It doesn't matter what technicals are, right? So let's see what happens at 2 p.m. today. 2 p.m. we have the FOMC rate announcement, and then 2:30 we have Jerome Powell on the horn doing God knows what, right? So Thursday session, more data. Friday session, more data. But I believe this firmly that if you want to trade today, trade the first few hours, right? And then after that, be aware that there's going to be some crazy volatility. Now, if you want to trade the remnants of FOMC, that's fine, right? Just understand something. That is okay. If you want to trade the remnants after 2:30, you can do that. But just be aware that between 2 p.m. and 2:35, 2:45, there's a lot of wham-whams all over, okay? That's all I want to say for today's session on the econ earnings side. Let's dive into our charts now. I want to spend the majority of our time here on the SPY ES charts. So I am going to kick it off with Mike. By the way, Meta, thank you, Meta. Thank you for supporting. That is very kind of you. I'm going to let Mike kick off his analysis here on the SPY chart.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Hope you all are doing well today. So if you guys noticed yesterday, SPY was in a bit of kind of a slow zombie grind. There was some selling around the 696, 6950, which was previous all-time high on SPX. And that's actually where I tried to short, and that was probably the best entry of the day for short. But the issue was yesterday, I think a lot of shorts got trapped off the open. You know, that first or whatever second candle of the day, that 9:35 a.m. candle was showing sell side momentum, and then it completely reclaimed 694 and just kind of, you know, zombie grinded back into supply at 696. And I think that's just because it was a pre-FOMC day. So, you know, they trapped shorts, sent it higher, and now we're gapping up just a little bit. It's actually starting to fade the gap up. But it's the same level today. The same level I was looking to short yesterday, the 696, is the same level we have to either maintain today or fall back under. If we fail back under 696, I'll be looking to go short. We have room back into 695, which was the pivot from yesterday, and then from there into 693.50, which was where I shorted on Monday.
Yeah, no, that's exactly. So it's actually funny that you said that, Mike. I almost shorted the market right here. This is where I actually was going to go short on SPY, and then the second candle came in at 940 and just reversed it, right? And I was like, I sat back for a second and was like, you know what? This should not have happened. If this was going to be a short under our lows, right? This is a win-win, right? This is literally a win-win. In order for us to see downside yesterday's session on Tuesday, we had to see a break under 694. We didn't see it, right? And I was looking for short here, and I'm not afraid to say that, right? I was looking for a short side move here at under 694s today, or yesterday's session, under the Monday's highs for a downside move. It reclaimed it. It ripped up higher. I ended up getting a little bit of a scalp short over here. I scalped some S&P shorts over here on the SPY and got some downside. But again, even that downside was short-lived. It was actually bought right back up, and then again downside again off the 696s, but then again short-lived, bought right back up. So the market yesterday's session was just long-sided, right? And this is the thing: is if you trade the right levels and you have the wrong bias, you probably will be okay. You're just not going to be right about the move. And so that was me yesterday. That's why it wasn't really a great day for me. I still came out green yesterday, but it wasn't a day that I'm making 3, 4, or 5,000. It's not a day you're making a lot of money, right? Because you're just kind of going against the grain of the overall market. And that's going to happen sometimes, right? As a trader, you're not always going to have the exact right bias in correlation to what actually happens that session, right? But if you have the right levels, it protects you against that, right? If you short a key level or you long a key level, you're probably going to get some reaction to your favor. You can take some trims off and get stop break even. So that was what happened to me yesterday. Made a little bit of money, but again, the overall theme of yesterday's session was counter to what we were talking about. Okay, and what happened, right? So basically, we just grinded higher into our pre-market session this morning, in which case we gapped up in the market, and now we're seeing a little bit of a gap up over our levels. Gunny trades, holy Moses,
Wow.
Gunny. Wow, that is crazy. That's going right to the fund. Thank you, man. That is much appreciated. Gunny, you are an absolute menace on the futures. I saw you yesterday. Gunny was long and all ES yesterday. I saw his ass, so I don't feel bad for him. Gunny, thank you, man. You are a killer. Much appreciated. Everybody check him out. He's a great futures trader on IG. That's awesome, man. Much appreciated. Yeah, he was trading the gap and go probably. Anyway, so on the SPY chart, right? We have our 696 demand below, which basically is our level yesterday. It was the level we held yesterday. If we fail below this yesterday's, and I would even argue, right? Let's adjust this to yesterday's highs now, right? Because that 696 no longer as important to me. I'm gonna adjust this to. I saw his futures trade. What do you mean? What are you trying to? You can't change my words over here. You can't change my words. So 696.50 was my level, right? And that was actually 696 was my level. My new level today is 696.50. This is my bull bear pivot today, right? Just like it was yesterday, I'm using Monday's highs as my bull bear pivot. Today's session, I'm doing the same thing. Now, what happened yesterday was interesting because yesterday's session, technically, we saw what? We saw us break down beneath our low and then reclaim big upside move, right? And so today's session, I would look for shorts under yesterday's highs. I would. But again, just like yesterday, if I see us do this, bam, 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 then I know not to be short here because that's where the market could potentially hold up, right? So that is, I was only one micro. That's still fine though. At least you got the right trade band. That was good. But yesterday's session and today's session is all about 696.50. Mike, where is your supply in SPY?
Supply, I mean, at this point, it was the previous all-time high, which was what, 697.30?
Yes, exactly. Right.
Yeah, I mean, now it's just, if it's pre-market high, which is 698.30, it's just we're in price discovery mode. Above that, obviously, there's the key psychological whole number, 700.
Right.
So, I mean, it's an FOMC day, guys. Like, we don't really know. It could be a big move in either direction.
Exactly. I mean, but the levels are. I say the most important level today's session. The let's like be clear about the most important level is this level right here, right? It is
696.
It is 696.50, 696. It's this level right here.
Yeah.
If we can get beneath this level, we know there are actual sellers in the market, right? So that's your key level of demand down below. If we're above it, we're bullish. If we're below, we're bearish. Just the key inflection point, right? And this morning, obviously, we're just simply bullish. We're in supply, we're in all-time highs, but the market is structuring higher, okay? So this is your level today. If we see us fail beneath it, we can look for short side moves and then move back down to yesterday's lows. But again, if we still maintain here, if we maintain above this yellow line here, this yellow band, we probably just go back into pre-market highs, 698.50, 698.30, right? And then our hourly highs, so let's just write this out because this is, when we get to all-time highs, things become confusing. So let's just make this, this is the all-time high and pre-market high, okay? This is the previous all-time high, so path, and then this is the this is our key demand bull bear pivot, right? Bull bear pivot, right? So this is our key demand bull bear pivot. So a little bit confusing, but I wanted to be written out so we all understand what this is here, right? So if we can get back beneath 696.50 downside, we have our previous all-time highs here at 697.30s, and we have our new all-time highs pre-market at 698.30 here on the S&P chart, right? So that's what we have going forward. On the SPX, very briefly, 7,000 SPX. I know we don't trade SPX often, but 7,000 SPX is only a few dollars away, right? So that 7,000 SPX would line up almost with that 700 SPY. So it's pretty damn close. Just want to make sure you guys understand that correlation today. Even though we're not big SPX traders, I think it's important to watch those whole numbers, especially like 6,000 SPX, 7,000 XPX. They tend to be important inflection points in the market, right? So just understand that. On the ES chart, Mike, you probably have the same levels as me. Nothing's really different. The only thing I would say here on the ES chart is that previous all-time high is at 7,036 here on the ES. And you're seeing that we are still failing that pre-market, right? So we are failing the previous all-time highs here pre-market. If we get back above 7,036 upside, our level of demand down below, and you can see this whole red band, it needs to be removed. But this level of demand down below is 718, right? So 718 is your level for your demand below, right? And that is simply just your Tuesday's highs. If we break below Tuesday's highs, we're going back into Tuesday's lows. So these are my big three levels today here on the ES chart, okay? All right. Anything to add there on SPY or ES?
I have the same thing on ES, so
Same
yeah.
thing. Okay, let's go over Qs. I'll let you do that.
QQQ, guys, we're almost at all-time high. 638 is the previous all-time high back from October of last year. So I'll be looking for failures off that 638 today. Very obvious level. And then, if we wanted to get bounced, we'd have to wait for it to come all the way back down to previous day high at 632.
Yeah. Yep. So that's exactly what it is for me too. I mean, QQQ. I don't really trade Qs often, but I definitely agree with this. You can see the problem. Here's the problem: is I know for myself, and just because I have this problem doesn't mean you guys should have this problem too. But every time we tap all-time highs in the market, a new all-time high tap, like I'll do really well in these pullbacks. Right? When you start pulling back, I'll probably short the pullbacks. I'll get some retests at demand. I'll make money on the retests, and I'll get the move up higher. Right? But when it comes to trading right back in all-time highs, I know that the way that I trade tends to not work as effectively right at the first tap of all-time highs. So I am aware of this today, and I see it, and that was part of the reason why yesterday's session I believe was a little bit hard for me to get behind in terms of the longs. But today's session, I mean, even more so. You look at Qs, and I don't want a long here in Qs. I'm just gonna be honest. I don't want a long here, even if it breaks above the highs, even if it breaks here. If it breaks, here's the thing, right? We're at all-time highs here in the Qs. And if I build a long position right now in the QQQ for whatever reason, off of a retest, off of a pullback long, and then I find out that the market does this. If the market does this, I would feel like such a muppet because I know that I'm trading back into an all-time highs longing into it. I would rather simply just watch this chart, right? Then trade it long. That's just my view. And even if the long does work, I don't want to be involved in it. And that's just my 2 cents and my prerogative, right? So understand my prerogative may be different from your prerogative, but I don't want a long back here, right? And I'm just going to make it clear. I'm not going to hide my bias. I'm not going to hide my stuff. For me, longing back into a previous all-time highs here in the Qs is just it doesn't make any sense, right? I wouldn't do that. I don't long back into resistance. I don't short back into demand. So that's my understanding this morning here in Qs is don't be a long today here in the Qs if we're under 637.30 because we're back at the all-time highs. If we can break above the all-time highs here, then yes, there's a long side move and we can look for a move higher, right? Again, I see it, right? I can see it. If we break with the highs, logically there's a long. But as of right now, my expectations are we're in supply. Let's look for either a short right on the Qs, or let's hold off on any position and look for a pullback to go long off of, right? And those pullbacks to go long off of, I can get behind that and I can trade that, right? So if you are trading Qs, 637 supply, which Mike has just talked about. Mike, where's your demand?
I mean, it would be just like previous day high, 632.
Exactly, right? So 632 would be previous day high, and that would be, well, what about under 632? Do you have anything else underneath that?
I have 630 is 629 is huge.
Yeah, exactly. And so what you just said right there, that huge level would be where I would be looking for my long side moves, right? So if we do pull back at any point, and I want to get a long side move, well, that's where I'm longing. I would long the 628s. The 628s would be my major long spot. In fact, this whole green band over here, and I'll make it green now because we're above it. This whole green band would be a long spot, right? So if I see us fail today for whatever reason at all-time highs and start pulling back, well, then my bias completely shifts as we approach demand down below 627, 628. Again, though, something I want to reiterate that Mike also said too is we have FOMC today, right? So everything we're saying is valid right now at 8:53 in the morning, but come 2 p.m. things are going to be all over the place, right? And we understand that. So just understand that technicals are out the window by 2 p.m. But for now, up until 2 p.m., these are the valid levels, okay? That being said, let's move into our equities. Which ticker do you want to kick it off with?
Whatever you want, man.
Let's do the Appler. Let's do the Appler. So Apple chart. I think that we did the right thing here on Apple. Remember we said this? We mentioned this. This was our main idea was we longed Apple at 256. We got the where did we long this one? We longed this on we longed this at 252 on Monday session. And then it just ripped and rallied into Monday session. Tuesday session, it went right into 261. And we spoke about something, in my opinion, the things that we say are important, right? The things that we tell you to do are important. The things that we tell you not to do, in my opinion, are even more important. And this is what I talk about, longing back in on supply. And I can probably tell you this. I bet you that there is probably less than 2 people in the chat. I'm just gonna have a margin of error here. There's probably less than 2 people in the chat today that longed Apple at 261. Probably less than 2 people, right? And I think that we all knew not to long Apple into supply, right? Even though it was a strong day Monday, strong open Tuesday, we said pre-market, this is 261. Let's be smart about this, right? And it traded yet right into supply, and then obviously fell off supply. So this morning here in Apple, it looks kind of heavy off supply, right? You can see 261 is failing, and we are still in supply here, and we're seeing the ramifications of that downside move. We're right back in demand now, and the question is, what do we do with demand? If we hold this level here, this is a long spot. If you lose this level here at 256, it's just short, and we can short it back down into 252. So my bias on Apple is literally driven by this green band right here that you guys are staring at. If we are holding this level, I'll look for longs. If you fail below it at market open, I'm looking for shorts. Mike, are you watching Apple?
No.
No. Okay. All right. But those are my levels here on this chart. Let's go over next ticker. Which one's next?
Yeah, 256, 250, 262. Those are the levels I had on Apple. Amazon, I mean, 241, it's not going to get there today, but that's something that I'll be watching in the future. A lot of names have earnings, so it'll be hard to trade, but Nvidia, I think we could watch for the 190 pullback or 193 breakout.
Yes. I'm going to be honest with you for a second, Mike. I have no idea. I was reading the chat. I have no idea what you just said. Would you say it again?
Nvidia.
Nvidia, okay. We'll go back to Amazon for a second, but Nvidia, on the Nvidia chart, wow. Yeah. I see what you're talking about here. Yeah, so 190, I mean, this is just a gap up here. It's the crazy gap up here on this Nvidia chart. 190 as your demand, what you just said, and then obviously the 192.50 as your lock-in, Brett, as your 192.50 supply. So yeah, I see it 100%. What would be your top watch today? Would it be a pullback long to 190?
I would rather take a pullback than a breakout at this point.
Right.
But I would need to be convincing at that 190. If market starts selling heavy under that 696, then I won't be interested in taking longs.
I'm with that. I like this. I like that idea. If we can pull back to the 190s today, I would look for the pullback long there. I'll trade that with you. I like that. I like that idea. Likewise, the 192.50 breakout would be valid. I do agree with this though. Like this is where my personal bias as a trader kind of impacts me. I would have a hard time trading this too, right? Trading a breakout on an all-time high market is a little bit funky for me as well. But I would take this. This is something I would be involved in. Is that 190 pullback long? Back to Amazon for a second. I want to just go back to Amazon. I actually do like something in Amazon today. I want you guys to be aware of this. So Amazon, remember we said Amazon goes to, remember we said this? We said Amazon goes to 249. Do you guys remember that, right? Look at where Amazon is, right? Amazon's getting closer and closer to that level. So, this is what we're saying is like we talked about the volume nodes here on Amazon, and now look what's happening, right? It's literally almost $2 away, $3 away from all-time highs. Not from all-time highs, from the 249, right? Today's session on Amazon, where's your level? I agree with Mike that 241 is a level, but I would actually venture to say that this 243 is my level today, right? I'm looking for a 243 pullback long. If I can look for if Amazon pulls out to 243 today, I would go long there. So this is on my top watch as well, is looking for that 243 pullback long. Okay, so 243 pullback long or the 241 pullback long, both valid for this open today. Gunny trades. Oh my God, Mike, did you see that?
Yeah, Gunny's crazy.
He says send that to Mike lunch and meet today. That is crazy. Mike, that is awesome, man. That is really cool. Gunny, you are an absolute gentleman. I will get that over to you, or maybe I'll keep it for myself. No, I'm kidding. I'll send it over.
Send it to the chat. Give it away.
Give it away. You sure?
Give it
away.
Yeah,
all right, Mike said it. Give it away. So you guys. That is awesome. Gunny trades. You're awesome for that, Mike. You're also awesome. Thanks, man. I will. I'm gonna add that to our giveaway, so that gets added right back to our giveaway. That goes right back to you guys. So that is awesome. Thanks, Gunny. Much appreciated. Okay, so let's move on. Let's go over AMD. AMD chart looks, to be honest with you, it looks kind of ugly, right? I still believe this, and I stand by it, right? What did I say yesterday? I said I think this chart pulls back to 239. I think it does. Just because it didn't do it yesterday doesn't mean it won't do it. I just think that it's being held up by the semi sector. Semis are maintaining, and AMD is also maintaining. But I believe at some point this does pull back. Where would you trade this though? Like, where's the actual? Where can you trade this? Well, I would watch for short under 250, right? If you break below 250, this is a short for me. Where is it short to? It shorts all the way back in 239. If it pulls back to 239, I'm looking for longs there. So basically, I'm looking for shorts under 250 for a downside move, right? For the big reversal back down into lows. Or I'm looking for the pullback long at 239 for an upside move. And so those are the only two plays that I'm watching, right? A 250 breakdown for a continuation move back into 239, or watching a 239 bounce opportunity, which would be my target for shorts as well. Mike, do you have anything to add on AMD?
No, I do like the short watch though on that. I agree with that.
Yeah.
250 it should go all the way back down to 240.
Yes, I think so too. I really do think so. I think this chart has been, it hasn't really given you that retest of 239. And I still believe that this does pull back at some point. Now, when does it happen? It's hard to say. Okay. SMH obviously strong. It's gapping up this morning. It's gapping up like more so than other names today. I think it's important to talk about that. I want you guys to be aware of what's going on, and I'm equally as surprised as you guys are. Right? I mean, maybe you guys are less surprised than me, but I was not expecting a major gap up like this on the SMH chart. And the reason why is because you have chips just super strong, MU maintaining beautifully. The memory chips, the memory names, I don't know if SMCI is a memory name. I don't think it's a memory name, but a lot of chips maintaining, and the ones that aren't maintaining, like Nvidia is gapping up, but kind of like a weak gap up compared to these other chip names. ASML really strong this morning as well, and ASML is contributing to that gap up on the semis. Okay, so someone said, "I'm new. Is this what you call tactical analysis?" No. This is just a prank. Okay, so let's move on. Let's go over a few of the names. Let's go over Meta.
Yes, this is technical analysis. Brett's an asshole.
No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. It's just tough love.
Meta has earnings today. Today. Microsoft has earnings. A few of these names have earnings. We can't touch them.
Yeah, earnings today on Meta. I mean, look at this 676 level though. I mean, it is such a clear level. If you were to get crazy with it, you could look for longs with 676 today. I know it has earnings in the after hours today, so it's a little bit funky. But 676 break, I think this goes in the 680s. So you can watch that today. I mean, obviously, I don't think the contracts are going to move so nice. I'm curious to see what Rav does. If Rav actually trades this today, I assume he probably won't be trading this chart.
Yeah, he traded it yesterday, and the contracts moved like 10%.
Yeah.
But if it breaks 680, there is a daily gap fill all the way back to 740.
Yes. What about Tesla?
Tesla was actually watching. I wanted to see if it could hold this 430 area to go long.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, it's interesting. Also earnings in the after hours today though, so just be aware of that. So Tesla also has earnings in the after hours. 430 big demand. I see what you're talking about. So 430 bull bear pivot above bull bear. Is the problem is like a lot of the names that we normally watch have earnings. And
yeah, that's the problem. I'm not going to trade any names that have earnings. The contracts just won't move very well.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting. I don't know if I would trade Tesla today either. But let's see how those contracts are, how the IV is. Because I know Tesla, Meta, and who's the other big one that has earnings after hours today? I'm missing one. Tesla, Meta. There's one more missing. It's Tesla, Meta,
Microsoft.
Microsoft. Yeah. Okay. So those are the big three today, and so just understand you may not get as big of a contract movement. But Tesla is still bullish. It just has to break. I mean, my view is Tesla breaks 450. If Tesla breaks 450, I think it goes into 466. There's no level between 450 and 4. There really is not much in between 450 and 466. So if this does actually get going at some point, we could look for that long side move all the way to highs. Besides that, I don't really have much else to watch today, guys. And again, like what Mike's saying is, I agree with too. Is a lot of names are a little bit difficult to trade today because we have earnings in the after hours. Any other ticker you want to add?
I mean, we can talk about a couple that people have been asking for, maybe Palantir and gold.
Sure. Okay. Palantir. I'll let you go over that.
Palantir, it's almost at demand, 162. That was the big pivot from January 21st. So, we're almost at demand. I don't see anything here. I don't see a trade, long or short.
This is more so for a long for me, to be honest. I mean, I would be more sided towards a long here in Palantir, guys.
Maybe at 162.
Yeah, like if I see this hold here at 162, this is a long. You guys have seen it happen time and time again, right? So if 162 holds, it's a long. If it fails, then it goes to 149. PayPal, PYPL.
PayPal is at demand. 55 is demand. They got hit with the downgrade this morning. I don't listen to analysts. Analysts are idiots, but we'll see what happens. They have earnings next week. Nothing has fundamentally changed about the company except that it's getting better and it's still at a cheap valuation. So I think it's just a matter of time before PayPal goes.
Right. I mean, the thing is, what's crazy to me is how can an analyst post a new PT, a new price target, prior to their earnings? That's like,
right.
I mean, to be honest with you, my analogies are terrible. I think something is genuinely wrong with my analogy, so I'm not going to give it. The first thing that came to my head was so bad, I'm not going to say it. But the the analyst rating prior to an earnings event is ridiculous. Okay, so for me, I don't put any value into that either. I am long PayPal as well. I'm also building into this. So let's see what happens. You never know what happens in earnings. We understand that. But a solid company selling off from its all-time highs is a buy. And let's see what happens here. So PayPal, interesting, 55 demand, but not too worried about this. What about GLD? Let's go to SLV first. SLV looks like someone sent me something yesterday. It was the question was this. It just showed you the chart, right? It showed you the chart, and it looked just like this. Didn't say a ticker on it, and it said, "Is this SLV or is this Dogecoin?" And I was like, "Wow!" I mean, just insane. And it's like, to be honest with you, it looks literally like Dogecoin, right? You look at Doge USD during 2023, 2022, right, when it was crazy rallying, right, back during COVID. Well, this looks identical to that, right? And you guys probably aren't gonna like it, but you know my view on gold and silver, right? I own gold, I own silver, but I know that it's going to pull back, right? These are not moves that are sustainable without pullbacks. And where silver pulls back to is 87. I firmly believe that, right? It's going to pull back to 87. That's the retest long. Do you want a long here at all-time highs? No, I don't. None of Mike and I are not going to sell you pipe dreams. That's just who we are. I tell you guys what I would do. Would I sell gold and sell silver? I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that if I'm looking for re-entry longs, it's got to be back at 87, right? GLD, same idea. 426, right? 426, even 401 would be a pullback long on GLD for me, right? But certainly not over here.
Yeah, I mean, I'll talk about both. So, first of all, I don't look at GLD or SLV really because those are just the ETFs for the actual coin itself. So I look at GC, which is the futures for gold, and I look at the actual currency swap. So if you type in gold, XAU USD, and then I look at higher time frames, right? So you guys know how I swing. I'm looking at time frames since the 1970s, and this is the most overextended it's been in 53 years. So right now, the risk reward is short. A lot of people are comparing gold to Bitcoin. When Bitcoin rallied from 1,000 to 19,000 in 2017, but the market cap of Bitcoin in early 2017 was 14 billion, and then it was 300 billion by the end of 2017. The market cap of gold is 35 trillion. So you can't really compare the two. They won't move the same. Essentially, we're looking at, if you looked at a monthly chart of SPY and it looked like the way that gold looks like right now, I would also be shorting SPY, right? So it's, I look at it in a different light than most people do. We'll see what happens, but I think a big correction is coming on both silver and gold.
Yeah. I agree with that. And I believe that if you are looking for pullback longs, you should be looking for pullback longs, right? You should be looking for that pullback, and that's okay. So let's see what happens on gold and silver, right? And you guys also have to understand something. When the US dollar moves down, gold moves up, right? They're inversely correlated. And what you also typically see is you also see a inverse correlation between SPY and gold, and SPY and precious metals, but you're not seeing that same correlation recently. It's been a little bit disconnected, right? SPY moving up while gold moving up. It's a little bit bizarre. So typically to me, when gold rallies or when a metal rallies, it means that there is a lot of fear in the market, right? People are moving their money to precious metals to become more risk averse to equities, right? So it's interesting, and that's kind of the reason why I'm actually looking for a VIX position today. I've been talking about it for a few days in a row now, and today maybe the day I actually buy into it. So we'll look more into that. Anyway, guys, it's 9:10 a.m. So we're a little bit late to the show this morning. So we're gonna pop off here. Thank you, Mike, for hopping on. That was absolutely incredible having you on, and I'll see you on live.
All right. Thanks, everyone. See you guys on live.
See you guys.